All right, one more guest we're going to talk to on what's been a pretty busy Wednesday morning. Want to welcome the DA on the line, Warren Montgomery. How are you?
I'm great, Charles Dowdy. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you very much.
Well, we are glad to have you. Working from home remotely, what are you doing? How is your office situated in these times?
Well, we have I have several offices. I have one in Bogalusa, one in Slidell, one in Franklinton, and one in Covington. But kind of my main office, where we have most of my coworkers, is here in Covington. But we've sent 90% of them, we've sent them home to work remotely. And so I come in. I tell you the truth. I come in to my office, but there's nobody here.
Right.
So I'm really
Might
I'm
actually
really
get
pretty
some
much
work done.
protected. I'm actually hopefully going to get some work done and also be safe because there's nobody here to interact with, to speak of.
Yeah.
And I just stay at my office and call the radio station, speak with Charles.
There you go. All right. So we wanted to talk a little bit. I know you wanted to put some information out there about scams and things that happen in these times. And so I'm going to turn you loose. What did you want to say?
Well, thank you so much, Charles, and good morning to all your listeners. And I wanted to say first, if you see a nurse or a doctor or someone who works in a medical setting, particularly at a hospital, give them a I'm not going to say give them a high five because that would be inappropriate at this time, but give them a little word of encouragement and give them a word of thanks because they're doing the Lord's work out there and doing a great job protecting all of us and working very hard. They're under a lot of pressure and because of this COVID-19 epidemic. And there's so many people who are doing so many good things. I have a buddy of mine who's actually put together a nonprofit, and he's bringing meals to the people at the hospitals. He's bringing meals to the people at the hospitals. And, Charles, I'll get you the name of his organization because they're soliciting donations. And I actually put up a little money to help them bring these meals to people at the hospitals who are working, I don't want to say 24/7, but maybe 12/7.
Right.
Working very, very hard. It brought to mind something, so this buddy of mine has put together this nonprofit and he's doing these good things. As many people who are out there doing, engaging in acts of great heroism and generosity, there are other people out there who are cashing in on the panic, who are taking advantage of people's generosity. I don't know if you're aware of this, and I want your listeners to be aware that there are these, I'll use the word scammers or fraudsters, and they will have websites where they'll ask you to come make a donation to a false charity. It's not even a real charity. They're going to say, we're going to use this money for a false purpose and just be very, very, they're going to steal the money and use it for themselves. Or they will tell you, send me $150 and I will send you a test, a COVID-19 coronavirus testing kit, and all sorts of things. Or they'll try to get you to invest money in some scam. And there are a lot of people who are going to be receiving checks from the federal government as a result of this tragedy. And they're going to try to turn it into a double tragedy because they're going to try to deceive you into separating you from that money and having you invested in some fraudulent activity where you end up getting nothing and you lose your money. It's a terrible, it's just, there are people who have roadside coronavirus testing sites and they sell fake test kits. And they'll sell, 100 kits. They'll pull up, dress up like a doctor, sell 100 kits for $245 a piece. And then they'll take that, does that amount to $24,000? I think so.
Right.
And then they'll try to get you to pay that in cash, give you some junk, and then they'll pick up stakes and they'll drive to the next state and do it all over again. So there's a lot of people, and they'll do it with emails as well. and they'll even call you on your phone, and they'll try to solicit information from you. Be very, very careful. Be very wary if a caller on your phone asks for confidential information or prompts you to give confidential information or take some unusual action. It's a shame, but it's true that there are these fraudsters out there, and just be very careful. And that's what I wanted to call your listeners and warn them about these investment scams and people really preying on your false hope or your generosity to take advantage of you.
All right. Good stuff from the DA, Warren Montgomery. You feeling okay? Everything good in your world, Warren?
Everything is we're working really hard. We have what we call a virtual court, where we are using different types of technology, FaceTime and Zoom, video conferencing, to get a lot of our work done. And I'd say we're getting, even though people are working remotely, and we've lost a little bit of the camaraderie of everybody being in the office and visiting with one another a little bit. But people are working remotely. The people at the DA's office are working very hard, and we're getting about 80% of our work done by using technology, even though we're working remotely. And I have some phone numbers, by the way, Charles.
Sure, let's have them.
Talking about this fraud stuff. One is, if you think that you've been the victim of a fraud, or if you would like to report a fraud, here's a phone number you can call: 866, area code 866, phone number 720-5721. 866-720-5721. And you can call to report that you've been the victim of a fraud, or that you think there's some fraudulent activity taking place. And those people are waiting for your call so that they can investigate this and put these people out of business. You can also go to a website, the National Center for Disaster Fraud, National Center for Disaster Fraud, NCDF, and they will give you information. And finally, you can email that same group of people at disaster, D-I-S-A-S-T-E-R, disaster@leo.gov, disaster@leo.gov. And so there are resources out there to protect you and to help you, and also, of course, to protect others. My wife was a victim of a telephone fraud just in the last month. And they're very clever, they're quick, they sound so professional, and they ask you to do something. In the back of your mind, there's a little red flag or yellow flag that waves, but they're very convincing, and they get you to give up confidential information, and then they either use that information themselves or they sell it to someone else. And in a matter of minutes, they've emptied your bank account or used your credit card or done something else to harm you. And we're all going to be getting, I say we're all, not all of us, but many of us are going to be getting checks from the federal government. And boy, these evil people are licking their chops, waiting to separate us from money that we desperately need.
All right. As always, we appreciate it when the DA spends a little time with us. We got the phone numbers. We're going to get this information all on the website at lake947.com. Warren Montgomery, thank you for your time, and you be safe out there, okay?
Charles, thank you, and thank you for all the good work that you do. God bless.
God bless you.